now when I start off by adjusting the water temperature, I like to have the water set at more of a cooler, warm temperature. And this number one is safer. If you have an elderly dog or a really overweight dog and you wash them with really warm water or close to hot water, that hot water slows their heart rate down, and I mean it can cause a lot of problems. So whenever I adjust the water temperature, I always make sure it's comfortable for me, but especially with an older dog, I always have it a little on the cooler side. And the same thing in the summertime when it's really warm in here, I always have it a little on the cooler side. So on a large breed like this, what I always learned was to start with doing the head first. Number one, they usually don't like their head done, and that's where they're going to do all their shaking. So if she's going to shake her head, I would rather the water only come off of her head than her whole entire body and get me soaked everywhere. So I'm going to start just by kind of working my way up, just to kind of introduce her to the water and the temperature. And she does come often, so this dog is actually good about it. But what I want to do is I don't want to get water right down in her ear canal, so I'm going to hold her ear down to wet the top of her head. And a lot of times they get very panicky when you get water in their eyes. So as soon as I wash the face, just take your hand and run the water back or run the hair back out of their eyes, and that usually settles them down. So now the other side, the same thing. I'm pinching her ear canal shut so that the water is not going to go down into her ear canal. And I'm going to start by doing just her head and her neck first. And then that way, if you have a dog that's really going to be a shaker, if she wants to shake, she's only going to get me wet from the water on her head rather than her whole entire body. Now, I like the Bark to Basics shampoo. They lather really well, they rinse really well, and they're formulated for all different skin types. They're safe for everybody. They don't bother their eyes. A lot of people forget that the muzzle is part of the dog, so you want to make sure that you scrub the muzzle as well as every other part of the dog. So I don't want to get water down inside her ear canal, but you still have to be sure that you get the hair all around the ear, especially if you have a dog that has ear infections or ear problems, and the owners are putting medication in the ears. You want to be sure that you really scrub the hair around the ears, because it's really going to make a big difference in the overall finish of the dog. There's a lot of different bathing systems and products out there. I like good old-fashioned scrubbing. Good girl. There's also a product made by Le Pooch, and it's called F&T, and it's an awesome degreasing, deep cleansing, dematting, detangling. It's kind of good for everything, but I find that this is one of the only shampoos that works if you do have a dog that's had any kind of medicine in the ears. It's usually a very heavy, greasy medicine, and it doesn't wash out with just regular shampoo, but the F&T shampoo from Le Pooch will cut through all of that grease and get it out. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and rinse her head. The same thing, you want to make sure that you rinse the eyes really well. I know I have the water on cool, so it's not going to bother her. And after I rinse the eyes, just kind of run your hand over the eye, and it'll get the water back out of her eyes, and it'll prevent her from shaking or getting really upset with the water in her face. I want to rinse the outside of the ear. I hold the ear down to do that, to get the side of her head. And then to make sure that I get the inside of her ear rinsed well, I hold the ear canal shut, and then make sure that you get all the hair around the inside of the ear rinsed away.